go to Wellington, where initial tests on an aquifer in the city's harbour are showing promising signs of it being able to supply water to parts of the capital that could be without water for prolonged periods after a major earthquake, should one happen. This is a world first operation to drill for fresh water, and while the project is in its early stages, it raises hopes that the aquifer will be able to provide water to vulnerable areas. There are fears that if Wellington's main water pipelines fail in a major earthquake, southern and eastern suburbs of the city could have water cut off for weeks, up to even 100 days. Our science reporter Jacob McSweeney went out and visited the bore.
About 750 metres off the Miramar Peninsula in the middle of Wellington's harbour, the drill barge sits. And as Wellington Water Chief Executive Colin Crampton explains, last week the drill team found exactly what they were looking for: physical proof the Waifetu aquifer extended to the entrance of the harbour.
The drill rig has just reached the top of the aquifer, about 50 metres from the top of the platform here. And we have encountered fresh water in the top of the aquifer, so that's very promising.
But it's still early days before the city can come to rely on the harbour entry as an access point to water in the event a major earthquake cuts the pipes currently feeding the capital. The first drilling attempts started about 2 weeks ago, but only reached 15 metres below the sea floor before the barge and drilling rig had to be brought back to port ahead of a storm. Now it has resumed, Colin Crampton says they will continue drilling for a further 30 metres to confirm previous geological models of the aquifer and send samples away for testing.
And if that's all good, then we'll move to the next critical stage, which is then to drill further holes to test the quantity of water that we can extract from the aquifer to make it an alternative source. And that's really got to be done very carefully, because we're dealing with the Waifetu aquifer, which supplies Wellington City now from Waterloo, and so we've just got to check that we can get the water we're expecting out of it without impacting on the performance of the whole aquifer.
Colin Crampton says it costs about $2.5 million to do the exploratory drilling and test the water samples. He says if the drilling is a success and the harbour access to the aquifer can be relied on, it's half the price of a cross-harbour pipeline that was proposed. Macmillan Drilling is tasked with providing and operating the machinery. Its group manager, Ian Haycock, describes the drill.
It's a jack-up barge, so the barge is actually sitting on the sea floor at the moment in about 25 metres of water. So there's the spud legs, which you can see, there's 4 of them in each corner. They extend, well, they're 33 metres in length, and so they're extending from the current deck level down to sea floor.
He says a steel pole is used to contain the drilled hole and avoid any seawater or other contaminants getting into the aquifer.
And then we have a sea riser, which is a steel pipe that is connected to the barge, and that makes its way into the seabed and then beyond, and that allows us to run our drilling equipment in and out of the hole and preserve the integrity of the aquifer that we're looking to find, and prevent any risk of saltwater intrusion, which is one of the hazards we have.
Once the exploratory hole is complete, Wellington Water will pump water from the bore for 7 days to check the flow and quality of it. Drilling of this kind and scale has never been done before. There is one similar undersea water exploration project in the United States, but it is still in its planning stage. I te whanganui atara mo te otaka o te ahiahi, ko Jacob McSweeney, tēnei.